Well, it's the end of an era. The final wave of the Mario Kart Booster Course Pass has been released, and it feels surreal to think that we've made it this far so fast. I mean, doesn't it feel like just yesterday we were all fanboying over the sight of 3DS Toad Circuit? Said no one ever! So, for the final time, let's rank all of the tracks in this wave from worst to best. I'll mainly be focusing on what makes each course special, any improvements that have been made compared to their original counterparts, and other things of that nature. But first, let's pay our respects to the tracks that didn't make the cut and will forever be unplayable in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. SNES Mario Circuit 1, SNES Mario Circuit 2, SNES Mario Circuit 3 because they botched it, SNES Mario Circuit 4. Gosh, this is gonna take a lot longer than I thought. Well, anyways, while I do that, why don't I show you my ranking so that you don't have to sit through all this? Let's go! In last place we have Avanti. I've gotta be honest with you guys, I found this course to be incredibly forgettable. Not bad by any means, but nothing about it really stuck out in my mind. I really enjoy the part where you're circling around the Colosseum, and then you jump down towards the Roman Forum, and the section on the third lap where you drive through the Colosseum dodging chain chomps is really cool as well. But other than that, it's mostly just pretty basic turns, a few ramps here and there, and the occasional real-life monument. There's nothing wrong with any of these things, but I also feel like there isn't enough here to warrant playing this track more than once. The only saving grace here is the music. However, I think we can say that about every course at this point, so it's not really that big a deal. Again, there's not really anything wrong with this track, but compared to this wave's other offerings, this one just doesn't do it for me. Up next is this wave's other big city course, Tourrid Drive. Now this is how you adapt a tour track. This course feels much more lively than Avanti, and it's honestly not even close. You'll dodge a Wiggler in Plaza Mayor, glide through Retiro Park, and even dodge soccer balls in Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Oh, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land called it wants its shopping mall back. Gah! There's also far more elements here compared to the previous track. More trick ramps, more obstacles on the road, more everything! But probably the best part of all is that in the Prado Museum, all of the paintings have been replaced with Mario artwork. Imagine walking into an art museum and seeing this on the wall. I would literally scream. Overall, this course isn't the most groundbreaking transition we've gotten over the past 2 years. But there's still a lot here to offer a suitable amount of enjoyment.
Oh, final wave. Okay, let's go. Oh, come on. Yo, yes, let's go, Daisy Circuit, let's go. Oh, and you said they weren't gonna add it.
I like this one. Wii Daisy Circuit was the last track I thought would be brought back, especially this late into the game. But boy, oh boy, was I mistaken, because this course is back and better than ever. To start, the graphics here look so good! The general aesthetic already looked amazing back in Mario Kart Wii, so imagine how beautiful it looks now that it's in magnificent HD! There's also a new gliding section located where that old through the building shortcut used to be, and it fits in really nicely. And, there's a new ramp after the tunnel, and the music's really good, and I'll be the first one to defend this track till the cows come home, or as I like to say, until Nintendo makes Mario Kart 9. But even I have to admit that this course is incredibly basic. That doesn't make it bad in any way at all, but it does also feel a bit lacking compared to the rest of the offerings from this wave. The changes made to this version are welcome additions, but it also isn't anything that's gonna make people say, "Oh man, did you see the daisies?" This is still one of my favorite tracks at the end of the day, and it'll always have a special place in my heart. But if we're looking at it from a critical perspective, then there really isn't all too much to say. I don't know what kind of 3DS Wario Shipyard clone this course thinks it is, but it is certainly actually pretty fun. Piranha Plant Cove is its name, and Calling My Bluff is its game. This track was added to Tour long after I'd removed that game from my cranium, so playing it here was my first time seeing all it had to offer. And I'll admit, my expectations were pretty low going into it. I mean, come on. Water, Mario Kart Tour level design, water, those are my three biggest fears. But I'll be darned, this course somehow managed to show me a good time. You'll climb through ruins, swim past hungry unagis, trick off the remains of sunken ships, and so much more! The theme here is much more than just underwater, and each lap feels completely distinct from one another. Even the music managed to get on my good side. I've been humming this tune for days, and I don't think I'll be stopping anytime soon. There's a surprising amount of things to this track, and I think you'll find it to be very delightful just as I have. Next up at number 4 is... Hold on, I feel like I've seen this course somewhere before. I've got it, we went to high school together!
Wait, you mean that this is and that's no way.
Yes way, this is SNES Bowser Castle 3, and holy crap did it get a glow up! This track is nearly unrecognizable from its Super Nintendo counterpart. Even though the layout is nearly identical, everything else about it has been so Mario Kart 8ified to the point where it literally feels like a brand new course. Most of the road is now in anti-gravity, there's loads more ramps and lava and other things you have to worry about, and you can even drive on top of the walls if you want. Now if only I had the skills to do so. Not to mention the music is absolutely rockin'! The guitars sound so intense, which is extremely fitting seeing as this is a very intense location. My only complaint is that the whole thing does feel a bit short, but that's to be expected, seeing as how it does come from Super Mario Kart. It's so crazy to me that this is the first time we've ever seen a SNES Bowser Castle track get remade! And I think that Nintendo has definitely earned a gold star with this one. Even though I never played Mario Kart Double Dash growing up, I still have a lot of memories playing GC on DK Mountain back in Mario Kart Wii. This is a course that feels made for Mario Kart 8. It always felt a little clunky back in Wii, so luckily, this version fixed up all of its little issues. The biggest change of all is the ginormous graphical overhaul. This track has never looked more colorful, and I'm all for it. The bridge at the end now also sways in the wind, there's some new DK barrels on the track, and the road itself is much more twisty. All of these changes greatly enhance the DK Mountain experience, and ultimately make it the best version of the course to date. The only issue is that the part where you're driving down the side of the mountain doesn't feel nearly as steep or momentum based as it did in the past. But that's such a minor inconvenience that it really doesn't amount to much. If you're a fan of mountain-based go-karting tracks, or at least a fan of a certain tie-wearing monkey, you'll no doubt find this course to be one of your favorites. And coming in at number 2 is... a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. 3DS Rosalina's Ice World is a track I don't think anyone was expecting to make a comeback, but I'm honestly really stoked that it did. Everyone else, not so much. I've never understood why this course gets so much hate. I mean, it's a track themed around Super Mario Galaxy, the greatest video game of all time, as well as... I'm sweating, but my point is, this course is a wonderful time and one of Mario Kart 7's finest. As for Mario Kart 8, this track is beautiful! This place looks absolutely amazing! Easily a 10 out of 10 for the graphics alone! And they added 2 new half pipes in this section, which do feel kind of awkward, but are still really fun regardless! And there's a new shortcut at the end that shaves off a considerable amount of time per lap! And the music is now one of the best Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tunes, and anyone else who disagrees is just flat out wrong. And you can see the Comet Observatory as well as Gateway Galaxy in the background. And they waited this long to give it to us. This course is an absolute delight that improves upon the original in almost every single way. I know a lot of people won't agree with me when I say this, but I think this is one of the greatest tracks we've gotten in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's 1 point for me, 8 billion points for everyone else. Huh. December 25th, 2009. I woke up early that morning, excited to open up all of the presents that were waiting for me that Christmas morning. I couldn't tell you what half of those presents were nowadays, but I do remember one present that would go on to change my life forever. Mario Kart Wii. I played the hell out of this game all morning and was immediately in love. The characters, the courses, the controls, everything about it was pure imaginative fun. And at the time, I couldn't get enough of it. But there was one part about the game I loved more than anything else. Rainbow Road. I adore Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road. I used to play this track all the time with my dad. It was always so fun watching us both fly off while trying to take ridiculous shortcuts, and it was always a blast every time we played it. As time's gone on, I still come back to this course regularly because of the memories I have with it. And it will always be my favorite Mario Kart track of all time. This is quite possibly one of the best remakes of a Mario Kart course I've ever seen! The amount of polish and improvements that have been made easily outdo any other track from the Booster Course Pass, and it's not even close. The visuals are so aesthetically pleasing that it makes all other courses look ugly by comparison. And I don't know how they did it, but they actually managed to nail the exact feeling of the original. The half-pipes don't feel nearly as wonky as they did in previous tracks, and everything else feels like a one-to-one recreation. And by gosh, did they do an amazing job with the music! This is the best Mario Kart song of all time, and this remix absolutely kills it. Plus, they even went as far as to still include the little fire effect that occurs when you fall off the course and burn up in the atmosphere. Everything about this track is exactly what I wanted out of a remake of Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road. Not only is this my favorite course from Wave 6, but my favorite Mario Kart track of all time. And with that, I think I'm about done with my Mario Kart course remembrance. Let's check back in to hear my closing remarks.
3DS Wario Shipyard, 3DS Maka Woohoo, 3DS Bowser's Castle, and Tour's Piranha Plant Pipeline. May they forever rest in peace. The Mario Kart Booster Course Pass is an interesting piece of Mario Kart history. Everything about it, from the content that was offered to the time in which it came out, was just very different from what we were used to at the time. I remember back when this was first announced, I was almost angry at Nintendo for making this instead of Mario Kart 9, especially in the beginning when they were just porting over Mario Kart Tour tracks. Like, that isn't a grass texture, that's just green! But in the end, Nintendo proved me wrong yet again. The quality of the courses got better as time went on, and the amount of new things they tried really blew my expectations out of the water. It's been a bumpy ride for sure, but even after all the lows, the highs, and 3DS Toad Circuit, I'm still really happy we got the tracks that we did. And I think this is like some amazing groundwork for the future of Mario Kart. Well, at least we can finally put Mario Kart 8 behind us and move on to a brand new generation of Mario Kart. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later, because as you all know, it feels like it's been a decade since the last Mario Kart game came out. Yep, those were the good old days.